Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to Ainsley Park for this Lowland League tie between Spartans and Vale of Leithen. My name is Cameron Hobbs, joined in the booth tonight by Sky Sports presenter Charles Parson. Good evening, Charles.
Yeah, good evening. Looking forward to this. Hopefully lots of goals. It's a beautiful evening for football, Cameron, and obviously Spartans looking to get a win after having a few tough results recently.
And we're in our upgraded booth this evening as well. Absolutely 5-star treatment here from Spartans. Can't complain with that in the slightest. It's actually not that cold, lo and behold.
No, it's beautiful for a November evening. I've got 18 layers on, I have to say, and a woolly hat, but it's a nice night and there's no wind. So, yeah, we want to see some quality football this evening. And I think it's about goals for me tonight. This is, they're playing the team that's bottom of the league. They've got to show a bit of confidence in front of goal and be ruthless as well. I want to see them being ruthless.
Yeah, since you joined us last time here, of course, that victory against Cunul in the South Challenge Cup, convincing. It's 3 defeats away on the trot. 2 of those against very tough opposition in East Kilbride and, of course, BSC Glasgow. An unfortunate result against Gallifrey Dean as well. Dougie Samuel will be hoping his guys get back on form, and we can, as the guys come out onto the park, we can share tonight's teams. So it is number 1, Harry Stone, continues in goal, of course, on loan from Hearts. Number 2 is Jamie Watson. Number 3, Mikey Allen. Number 4, the captain, Adam Corbett. 5 is Michael Bolochevsky. At 6 in midfield, Alan Brown. Number 7, he comes into the starting lineup, Scott McCrory Irvin. Number 8, Sam Jones. Number 9, returning as well, is Cammy Dawson up front. Scott Maxwell, and also coming in from the weekend is number 11, Archie Meekison. Players that drop out are Gregor Woods, Keir Russell and Aaron Murrell, all drop to the bench. They're joined there by Joe Tate, John Grant, Jordan Caddo, and a try list. We will do our best to find out who that is. And the players out here already, so we're going to get things underway soon. Although it looks as though we're in a situation where the players are out, but the referees aren't. Tardiness from the men in the middle already.
So as long as they don't rope us in, because I don't think we would do a good job. Can do a little bit of coaching on the side, but don't know the laws of the game, unfortunately, quite as well as the officials. So
we'll do our best to make pass judgment on their decision making, though. That's absolutely what we're about here. So, one thing to mention as well, we're obviously streaming this live on YouTube. It is completely free. The comments are open. If you've watched any of these, please know, and you'll have seen that we do interact with people. So share your thoughts as this game goes on. Let us know what you think. Just give us shout-outs. We'll do our very best to share those. Any open questions as well. As there's a lull in play, we'll do our best to answer those. I'm delighted to be joined by Sky Sports news reporter here, so let's make the most of him as the match official makes his way now into the halfway centre spot. Nice of them to turn up this evening.
Indeed.
Referee. Watch the pace of the assistant referee here.
The assistant referee.
He doesn't want to overdo it.
He is going for it. He was warming up enthusiastically a couple of minutes ago in front of us, and hopefully they will have an error-free and a controversy-free night. But you were telling me before the game, obviously Spartans have had a good record against Vale of Leithen in recent times, so certainly we would expect that to continue. But this is a trap game, really, in some respects, because they would come into this thinking this is a great opportunity. But yes, that's often when it's the most dangerous, isn't it?
Yes, indeed it is. And, you got to go back to March 2017 for anything other than a Spartans victory. That was a 2-2 draw here at Ainsley Park. So Spartans will be hoping to get back to winning ways against a team that find themselves rooted to the bottom of the table. And it's a familiar face that gets us underway here as well as Chris Anderson. Of course, anyone that's been around Spartans for a long time knows that name. Now manager of Vale of Leithen. He gets the game underway. And it will be an early opportunity for Spartans to attack here as well. Just to run through in fact, I'll do that in just a minute, is Archie Meekison already with an opportunity to get the ball into the box perhaps and put Vale under pressure. Spartans patient in the build-up play though. Nice ball there as well from Alan Brown. Like Jamie Watson, an opportunity, however, hits the first man and goes out for a throw-in.
It's good to see them getting bodies in the box already. Putting pressure on that Vale of Leithen defence. Big Cameron Dawson there, he's a big target.
Absolutely, indeed. He is a target man, a man that's been missing recently as well. Started the season in great form, scored a couple of goals in a couple of games. It's a lovely ball that's found its way all the way through to Scott McCrory Irvin. Chance to come back on his left-hand side. He plays it low, just beyond the reach of Cammy Dawson. Makes it all the way through to Ben McGinley in the Vale of Leithen goal.
I think Dawson could have got a touch on that. I think if he just gambles, then there's a chance to just get the flick on at the near post. And I think he maybe just... It's early on in the game. Not quite at the pace of the game yet. But maybe if he gambles, then he's got a chance to get a shot in there.
At the other end, though, opportunity for Vale to put under pressure. Corbett did well to get the ball back to his goalkeeper, who launches that straight out for a throw-in. Now, what we didn't do was run through the Vale of Leithen team, so just to give you an update on that one. Number 1 in goal for them is Ben McGinley. Number 2 is Lewis Hall. 3 is Michael Robertson. 4 is Jack Temple. Number 5 is a trialist. 6, Nicholas Weir. 7 is Levi Kinchant. 8 is Ryan Higgins. 9, Chris Anderson, as we mentioned. 10 is Bradley Rickson, and 11 is Jonathan Grotlin. Ambitious ball there, looking to give Archie Meekison the opportunity to use his pace. However, just slightly overplayed there. It goes out for a goal kick.
They've started very positively, looking to exploit some of the space on the right-hand side, and it's a good start. I think Dougie Samuel will be pleased. I was speaking to him pre-match, and he was talking about how the first goal is really important to build the confidence after the recent results. And if they get that, then he thinks that they can go on and score a few more. It's all about confidence, football. It's overplayed sometimes, but just one little thing can just click things mentally for a team sometimes.
I think Dougie Samuel will be disappointed after what was an impressive performance against Canoe in that South Challenge Cup. Spartans really never out of second gear at any point in that against the East of Scotland team. Since then, obviously, that disappointing defeat away to Gallifreydine just didn't quite work out. As this ball looks as though it's going to go out, and indeed it does. Great effort there from Bradley Rickson to try and put it out for a throw-in.
He's got some wheels on him, hasn't he?
He definitely does. That'll be one for the Spartans defenders to watch. Michael Bolocevecchio, of course, we know, not a young man anymore.
No, he's been around the leagues, of course, and he's got so much experience, but as I can testament, when you get into your later 30s, things start to pop a lot sooner. He's got to look after those hamstrings and calves, Michael.
He's also far enough out of the way at the moment that we're quite happy to question his pace. When he's a bit closer in the second half, we'll not be doing that. Shouts there for a free kick, however, not awarded by the referee, and that goes out for a throw-in to Vale of Leithen.
I think Dougie Samuel will want to see his players get the ball down and control possession. They don't want to see the ball pinging around in the air. It's a good night for passing football. He want to see a real element of control and a method to everything that they're trying to do. He wants to see what they've been putting into training, into practice, and this is a great opportunity tonight against a struggling team.
A struggling team, but there was an opportunity given up there in midfield, and allow Vale of Leithen the possession. Now, anyone watching this that's used to these teams facing up against each other might be surprised to see the unusual colour combinations. Normally, of course, Vale play in navy blue, and Spartans, of course, in white and red, but it is Vale in red tonight, Spartans in blue. Spartans in their away kit. I think that's a sign, Charles, that the kitman's just not had a time to wash the kits from the weekend.
Well, you wouldn't have the problem here around here on the wonderful artificial surface, but it certainly makes life easier for a commentator when they're on completely contrasting colours, doesn't it? That's a good challenge. Oh, yeah. No, maybe not.
So it was great play by Scott Maxwell there to just get his toe on the end of the ball. Resulted in the trialist at the back for Vale of Leithen having to clear his line, and ultimately Vale of Leithen give away a free kick. An opportunity here as Sam Jones stands over this one. Chance to get the ball into the box here. Look for the big target man, Cammy Dawson. Long looping ball there. Does indeed look for Dawson, but Vale do well to get onto the end of that and clear it. Long ball played forward, but Brown does well to intercept that one. And Jones having to work back to his own goal, but does well to play it back to his centre half. Cross to his captain, Adam Corbett, and Spartans able to build once again from the back. So just over 5 minutes gone, if you're joining us, no real chances of note. There was a half opportunity early on as a Scott McCrory-Irvine cross low into the box was just beyond the toe of Cammy Dawson. Other than that, though, Charles, it's nothing really to mention just yet.
Well, no, although there's an opportunity there which has just been headed behind for a corner, so here's another chance to flip one into the area. I think it's taking time to settle down this game. Vale of Leithen have actually started quite brightly. I think after that early scare, they seem confident for a team that's been struggling and has lost every game so far. So I think they'll feel quite happy about the way things have gone. Their game plan's surely got to be just to contain tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to take a hard-working performance from Vale if they're going to take anything from this game. As we touched at the top there, so far, 0 points from 7 games. Ball played into the back, looking for Bolachevecki at the back post, but he couldn't quite get his head onto that. Goes out for a goal kick. We're saying Vale of Leithen, of course, 0 points after 7 games. It's been a disappointing start to them. Definitely been struggling over the last couple of years, but been able to maintain their Lowland League position, which is important. A team that have been in the Lowland League since the very start. It's
very hard with the change of structure in the Lowland League with the teams that can come up from the divisions below. It's very difficult if you've been an established team but you've maybe not been making much headway to I guess maybe appreciate that you're vulnerable, and they are now really vulnerable. So they need to start getting results very, very fast. Maybe tonight is not the night for them to begin that, though.
No, Cammy Dawson taken out in midfield there by Ryan Higgins. That'll give Spartans another free kick. An opportunity once again to try and get this ball forward and put the Vale of Leithen defence under pressure. Corbett now plays it back to Bolachevecki. Vale doing a good job of keeping the pressure high, though. Not looking to sit deep.
Yeah, pressing high on that Spartans defence. And with Rixon's pace, they're going to have to be careful, Spartans at the back. As we mentioned a moment or so ago, he's someone who can certainly cut open that defence with his pace if he gets given the opportunity.
So a couple of comments already. Charles Petty, mon the Spartans. It's simple, but it does what it needs to do. Appreciate that, Charles.
There you go.
Just offside by the looks of things. As in fact, it's just been brought back for a free kick.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bradley Rixon showing there that he's definitely got pace, and that's going to be one that Spartans need to watch.
The key is that he gets the right service, though. Spartans will worry if the passes are good and not just into space, but they've got to be somewhere where he can actually manufacture a chance and get a shot away, because there's no point in having the pace if the creativity behind him's not there.
Bolachevecki showing his experience there at the back, though, clearing a couple of balls away with his head. And that ball goes all the way through to Harry Stone in the Spartans goal. So Danny Johnson, he got in touch to say, come on Spartans, and hi guys, can I get a shout out for Sean and myself, as I've just had an operation on my knee today and I play for the Spartans Connection. So Danny, we wish you a speedy recovery. Hope that operation went well. We look forward to seeing you back on your feet soon. Look forward to seeing you back playing for the Spartans Connection soon. And Chris Pow, who's my regular co-commentator, has been in touch to say, do Vale have a trialist at cornerback? Might be Jack Temple. Nope, Jack Temple's number 4. The trialist is number 5. So keep researching, Chris. See what you can do to find out for us. It's an opportunity here for Vale to get the ball into the box. In the end, not a great cross though. And Harry Stone able to easy gather that one in the centre.
Yeah, there was no one in the box for Vale there at all. And as much as we talk about Bradley Rixon's pace, he's not in there as a target. And they're not going to get any joy out of that unless that changes.
Spartans once again patient in the build-up play. A loose ball there, throws given Vale of Leithen an opportunity to come in and attack. Jamie Watson came across there and took it off the toes of Johnny Grotland. And then free kick was awarded there. Didn't see much in that one myself.
I think he was just a fraction late. Dougie Samuel doesn't appear to be very happy over on the far side, but I think the referee maybe got that one right. There's a bit of space on the left here.
They can find Mikey Allen. He has got the opportunity here as Brown tries to lift the ball over, but it's blocked Nicholas Weir with the block in midfield there. Spartans retain possession though. Great ball there looking for McCrory Irvine, however. Wasn't able to get through. Jamie Watson now, though, chance to get the ball into the box. Cammy Dawson there. It falls to him. He lifts the head over and it hits the bar and goes in. Yeah, it crosses the line. Absolutely brilliant. 11 minutes on the clock. Cammy Dawson lifts that high over the defender. High over the goalkeeper. It hits off the far post and just trundles across the line.
It was exactly what we were talking about, Cameron. He's such a presence in the box. All you need to do is just get the opportunity there, Tim. And if he's going to get his head on it, there's a good chance it's going to cause the keeper trouble. I don't think Ben McGinley, the Vale of Leithen goalkeeper, could do much about it. It was such a good penetrating cross, and it had pace on it as well. But the ball from Bolozvecki set the whole thing up. That caused the problem in the Vale of Leithen defence, and that was a class long ball. It was 50, 60 yards diagonal across the field. That's what set the whole move up.
Absolutely. Great cross from Watson from the right back position, making his way forward. Him and McCrory Irvine getting great opportunities down that right hand wing so far, and a great lofted header from Cammy Dawson in at the far post, hit off the post, just crossed the line. The goalkeeper did get his foot to it, ricocheted off the far post and out, but the ball had crossed the line. The referee and assistant totally agreed on that one, and it is 1-0 Spartans, and they're on the attack here once again.
That's a real mismatch in that Vale of Leithen back line. There's not a lot of height. There really isn't. The trialist, actually, number 5, is the tallest player in the back 4. But even then, Cammy Dawson's got, I would say, a good 3 or 4 inches on him. So this could be very fruitful all evening, I think.
The Angus family looking for a shout out, so shout out to the Angus family. The trialist is Alex Imla, who's recently returned to Vale of Leithen. And Lewis Thompson has got in touch to say Vale. Big love heart. We'll give you that. We welcome away fans here as well. Ball lofted into the box. Bolozvecki rose high. A great opportunity, completely unmarked there. However, he lifted his header just slightly high and wide off the top corner there.
He had the freedom of the penalty box. Where was the marking? There was no marking at all, and I think he think he should have buried that.
I'm stumbling over my words because I was anticipating the words of a second goal there. I can't believe he didn't get that one on target. He'll be ruining that missed opportunity for sure. But once again, Spartans looking dangerous, and again in the air.
Yeah, and there's definitely a weakness that they've identified in the game plan in the back line. And, Cammy Dawson, we've talked about his threat, but at set pieces like that, you've got Adam Corbett and Michael Bolozvecki, who are big guys who know how to not just defend in terms of the aerial game, but they can take advantage of it here tonight. And I think you just rain crosses in, frankly, if you get the opportunity tonight.
Christopher Dawson has said Cammy Dawson is a goal machine. And indeed, like we said at the top, he had a great start to the season. Missed out the last couple of games. Gladly for Spartans back in the lineup. He is a huge threat and a very important target man up front there. Harry Hamilton's also said, great stream, always going to be a tough fixture, but come on the Vale.
I think if you're Vale of Leithen, you don't want to get too downhearted, because it's easy to sort of mentally as a group let your shoulders slump after losing a goal like that. They've actually played some nice football in the first 10-15 minutes. Further up the park, they've been pressing Spartans high, but Spartans have got the opening goal, which is exactly what Dougie Samuel was looking for. Vale have got to try and just hold steady if they don't want to let this get out of hand.
Certainly they'll be looking to put the Spartans defenders under pressure as Hovey Brown gives away a free kick there just about 40 yards from goal. Not quite sure what he was trying to do there, but he didn't achieve it.
Can't make a challenge like that anymore. Can't go to ground. Referees will blow for that every day. I think it's too far out to have a pop at goal here, but this is an opportunity for Vale of Leithen to cause a little bit of consternation in the Spartans box. It'll be interesting to see what they do here, whether they've got something that they've maybe worked on in training that they can that they can conjure up.
Well, it's either Lewis Hall or Levi Kinchant. It looks like Kinchant's going to cross this in. He does indeed, but it's easily cleared by the first defender. It's Cammy Dawson using his height at both ends of the park this evening. And indeed, it's Dawson that's over there doing the hard work again as he's breaking that one up and gives the ball back to Spartans as Watson lifts that ball forward. Takes a deflection and it goes out for a throw into Spartans. Mikey Allen now with the opportunity to work things down this left-hand side. Alan Brown drives forward, plays that back to Allen, who was just slightly ahead of where Hovey thought he was going to be.
It was a nice idea. Well, nice links. You know, the idea was there, and they fortunately got the throw, but you could see what they were trying to do there, a little bit of intricate play. The man running on beyond.
Mikas in there, plays it all the way back to Bolochevecki. Out to Jamie Watson. Brown and Maxwell linking up in the centre, and Spartans again patient in their build-up play, happy to stroke this ball around, look for the opportunities, try and pull some of these Vale defenders out of position. Vale now sitting much deeper than they were earlier on in the game. Mikason able to take the turn and take the touch, and turn. Takes a crack at goal, however, high and wide, but nice ambitious play, lovely link-up play with Scott Maxwell there, created the opportunity, he took a shot at goal, and you can't really blame him for it.
No, I think he's got to have a go. When you've got the space, I think from 25 yards in, I think we don't see players enough having a pop. There's so much emphasis played on maintaining possession and trying to work it into the box. Sometimes teams overplay it, so absolutely have a go, especially when you're 1-0 up.
Chris Anderson bringing that down, player manager for Vale, leading the line this evening for the visitors. Of course, a ground where he scored an absolute barrel load of goals for Spartans. Mikason now with an opportunity to attack, plays that ball out to Maxwell. He's getting support from Mikey Allen here, who's on the overlap. Plays it though inside to Mikason instead. Now Allen with a chance to get a ball into the box, does so. Cammy Dawson at the back post, gets his foot onto it, opens it up. Oh. The ball strikes off the post. And Cammy Dawson's caught up in the net.
How did he miss? Extraordinary miss. I think it must have been 3 or 4 yards out. He's still in the net, incidentally. Oh, now he's managed to untangle himself.
And quickly making his way back as Spartans continue to attack once again. Dawson looked an absolute cert to score there. He opened his foot up brilliantly. Completely unmarked at that back post, but unfortunately the ball just ricocheted back off the post. And Vale were able to get it clear. Wow.
Unfortunately, you mentioned he opened his foot up. I think he actually opened it up too far. He didn't connect properly with it, and the ball kind of sliced off the instep rather than hitting it on the full. And I think if he'd hit it on the full, the net would have been bulging, and it is an extraordinary miss. He could have a hat-trick by now.
He could. Dawson does really well there to use his strength to muscle the Vale defenders off, and Sparks take a quick corner from it. Corbett now with a chance, going to take a shot at goal. The ball makes it all the way through to Ben McGinley. Didn't have any real pace behind it, and that's easy for the Vale League goalkeeper.
The other thing to say about that, that one that hit the post from Cammy Dawson, what a cross by Mikey Allen. I mean, they've worked it into the right areas, and he put pace and whip on the cross. It was just begging for a touch. It was top class, but it's just a shame that the finish wasn't there. But I don't think that will... I really don't think that that's going to upset Dawson. I mean, he's got one goal. He should have had another. Maybe had an opportunity very early on as well. He mustn't let himself get downhearted by that, because more opportunities will come. Indeed. Meanwhile, Vale are up the other end of the park with a corner.
Yes, it was Adam Corbett with a long header back that went out for a corner kick. That gives Vale a chance to get the ball in. However, Bolochevecki does well once again to get his head onto that and clear it. Danger not over though. But Maxwell does well to block that. And the ball ricochets around, gives Spartans the opportunity to clear, and it's that man Dawson once again. Plays that ball for Mikason. That was a nice pass. It's Dawson coming up to support. Tries to take it through the legs of the Vale defender. However, Lewis Hall did very well to cover that one and ricochets the ball out for a throw into Spartans.
Dawson did well to get up the park because he won the ball, obviously, in his own half. And then he was chasing it on with Mickelson.
Allen now with the opportunity to get the ball into the box. Plays it neatly to Maxwell. Lays that back. Looking for McCrory Irvin. He strikes the ball. However, it's easily held by Ben McGinley in the Vale of Leithen goal.
They're certainly creating lots of chances, which is what we expected. And I think they'll continue to do so. The Vale of Leithen defence doesn't look good. You can see why they've conceded so many goals.
Strong defensive play there from Corbett to knock that out.
For all the pressure that Spartans have had, here's a really good opportunity for Vale to put some pressure on here. It only takes one moment, one mistake, so they've got to be on their guard.
And eventually here we will have a throw-in for Vale of Leithen. From our viewing point, can't quite see where the player is.
Here we go.
This could be a long ball into the box. It's high and half cleared. Still the opportunity for Vale to keep the pressure on as Kinchant tries to get to the byline and cut it across. However, the ball just gets away from his toes and goes out for a goal kick. So just about 23 minutes gone here at Ainsley Park. Cammy Dawson's goal in the 11th minute. The difference between the sides. For those that have been watching from the very top, have seen that he's also hit the post. He did have another chance much earlier than that as well. Couldn't quite get his toe onto that. Spartans have had another couple of chances. Bolocevicki headed just past the post, really, as he was completely unmarked in the centre of the box. Another couple of chances as well, but nothing really troubling the keeper for Vale of Leithen. At the other end, Harry Stone not really had anything to do of note yet, Charles. Vale working hard, but really are going to have to do better to try and put the Spartans goalkeeper under pressure.
Well, first 5-10 minutes, they were hitting on the counter. They were using the ball over the top to utilise Bradley Rickson's pace. They've not done that in the last 10 minutes. That's mainly due to Spartans moving higher up the pitch and definitely taking control of the game. But it's only 1-0. And the one thing I think Dougie Samuel will be unhappy about is the fact that they haven't taken any more of these chances. There may be another one here.
Sam Jones and McCrory Irvin there link up very well. The ball gets crossed into the box. Cammy Dawson couldn't get separation. Archie Mickelson was looking at the back. However, Ben McGinley comes out and does well to get some contact on the ball, and it takes a fortunate bounce and ends up in his arms. Mikey Allen did well to get something on that, and the ball makes its way all the way through to Harry Stone at the other end. And that allows Spartans possession once again as they can continue to take time and build with possession.
And that's what Samuel will want to see from his team. And they have clearly identified there are weaknesses down the flanks in the Vale of Leithen team. I mean, they're playing so narrow here.
Yeah, loads of space for Mikey Allen on this left-hand side. Crosses into the box. Cammy Dawson there, surely lifts it over the keeper brilliantly. 24 minutes on the clock. A great ball from Mikey Allen. Lovely lofted ball. Headered home over the keeper. It's Spartans 2, Vale of Leithen 0.
Well, we called it earlier on. We said there'd be more chances for Cammy Dawson, and this time he's taken it. He should certainly have 3 by now after he hit the post earlier on, but that was pretty standard bread and butter for a striker like him. Great ball, though. Great ball from Mikey Allen. And he's got so much space. And if you're Vale, you've got to try and plug that. I think it's the job of the 2 sitting midfielders to come in and help the fullback. The fullback is so narrow. He's 15 yards in. Mikey Allen should not be getting that space to cross the ball in. But hey, Spartans are not going to complain, are they?
Indeed they are not, and Dougie Samuel will be delighted to see his talisman striker back and on form. They've definitely been missing him over the last couple of games and the last couple of weeks. Of course, still without Blair Atkinson, his striking partner. At least they've got one of them back. as Spartans able to double the advantage here at Ainsley Park. Harry Stone very calm at the back there as he's put under pressure by a couple of Vale boys right away. Goes out for a throw-in. And Charles, if Vale are going to get anything from this game, they're going to need to find a way to get back into it sooner rather than later.
Well, they have to find a way, first of all, to stop this supply line down the flanks. The right-hand side's been a problem. The left-hand side has now been a problem for the last 5-10 minutes. There is no... I want to know what the game plan is here if you're Vale of Leithen. What are you trying to do here? What are you trying to actually achieve when you're in possession? And more importantly, when you're out of possession, what are you going to do to stop Spartans' attacks down either flank? Because you're never going to get back into the game. If you're going to force Spartans wide, they'll just ping crosses in all day. So, do you change your shape? You've got pace up front. How do you utilise it? Do you sit back a bit deeper and then maybe try and hit on the break with Bradley Rickson? Because I think he's got the beating of the Spartans' backline if they can release him.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier a couple of times in this game. It looked like Rickson's pace had all the potential to cause trouble as Mikey Allen frustrated at a free kick being given there for a foul on Levi Kinchant. The two players battling there in midfield. Possibly the right call on that one, though.
I don't really know what he's complaining about. As much as we want to see him doing well, and he's been playing great, and he set up that goal. That was a blatant shoulder barge, unfortunately.
But it does give Vale the opportunity to take a moment's breather and try and launch this ball forward, put the Spartans' defence under pressure. However, we've said it numerous times already, but once again, Bolocevicki is up there with his head, getting that ball clear. As Jamie Watson does really well there to break up play. And Spartans able to build once again. Watson did well to turn. An opportunity now to drive forward as he tries to get away from his man. However, tussle there between the two players and the ball goes out for a throw-in to Spartans.
If you're Samuel now, you want your players to really kick on. I think he'll be looking for one or two more before half-time. Along the same lines as what they've already done. They know that they can take advantage, especially on this left wing. Mikey Allen's got so much space. And I think if you're if you're big Cameron Dawson, you're standing there going, well, just feed me. Because if he gets ahead on it, better than even chance that he'll score again.
Indeed.
It's about capitalising, though, Cameron. It's about when you're playing a team that's lacking in confidence, you've got to go and get more goals, and you've improve that goal difference and inspire a bit of confidence in yourselves, especially if you've lost a few games recently.
Indeed. And manager Chris Anderson at least is out there on the park with his boys, trying to ensure that those heads don't go down. It's going to take a hard-working and determined performance from Vale to get themselves back into this one. As there's a great ball there, and possibly to launch Mikey Allen. However, it just drifts out of play there. But once again, Mikey Allen had acres of space down this left-hand side. Yeah, and he's got a good engine, obviously, to get up and down the flank all night. And it's the same on the other side with Jamie Watson, who set up the first goal. They're very fortunate to have two fullbacks who can do that. And you got to make the most of it. Allen gets that up, and Brown does well to get up to that just. Not able to be controlled by Maxwell. But Mikkelsen does really well to battle and win that one, and then is fouled by Lewis Hall, which gives Spartans the opportunity to get possession back. Sam Jones was looking to take one quickly there, but perhaps an opportunity to get this one into the box. No, instead he plays that back to Bolocevicki. Lifts the ball looking for McCrory Irvin. Tries to drive. Ball hits off his heel, and Vale able to do well to get that one clear. So just over an hour played here at Ainsley Park. 2 goals from Cameron Dawson, the first in 11 minutes. A lovely lofted header that went in off the back post, and then In the 24th minute, another header, this one directly over the keeper. First one assisted by Jamie Watson from the right back position, second one assisted from Mikey Allen from the left back position. It's been a very similar route for Spartans this evening, and it's working.
Well, if you're Chris Anderson, the Vale of Leithen manager, who's really had no influence in the game himself, you must be thinking, how do I change this? How do we stop this flow of possession down either flank? Because it's only going to end in tears if he doesn't change it. Here we go.
A lovely lofted ball there by McCrory Irvin for Cammy Dawson, who couldn't quite get enough pace on that and get beyond his man to get anything on it. Ben McGinley did well to come out off his line quickly and collect that one for the Vale.
Even when the ball has come up the park, they've not been able to keep it. Vale, I mean, that's an opportunity to take the ball in, bring other players into possession. Anderson's not been in the game, and the one real weapon they've got has faded from view. Rixon's pace has not been used in the last 15 minutes or so. It must be very difficult when you're a player manager as well, I find, when you're on the pitch, to get the perspective of where things are maybe going wrong and what you need to change. That's when he needs his assistant to kind of point things out, and I would be interested to see whether they change things at half time.
Well, a slip at the back there has given Vale an opportunity to try and get this ball into the box. They do so, but it hits off a Spartans defender, and they're able to get it clear. Mikason now on this left-hand side, plays it into Jones. He's got Watson on the far side. He's looking for options, as there's plenty of them up ahead. Jones linking up nicely there. In midfield, the ball lifted up, takes a ricochet, falls to Cammy Dawson, who brings it down, tries to cut it back. However, that's good play by Lewis Hall, who breaks that up and is able to get it clear for Vale. Alan Brown managed to get that. Now that ball looked as though it had gone out of play. Cammy Dawson with a strike with his right foot, but that's a great save from Ben McGinley. Absolutely brilliant stop from the keeper. Great reaction save, as it looked like Dawson was going to find his hat-trick.
Well, I think the ball had gone out of play, and that was an error certainly by the linesman and the referee, but fair play to Spartans. They played on. It was a good effort from Dawson. It was a good save. I think it was more of a highlight reel save as well.
Yeah.
He was certainly off the ground and had one hand in the air.
Apologies, as we're hopefully now back underway here. Been some technical issues with the streaming software this evening. Apologies.
Cameron pulled the plug out.
Now, the clock is completely wrong here, so you can ignore that. The score isn't, though. It is Spartans 3, Vale of Leithen 0. Adam Corbett it was that got the third goal with a brave header at the near post. We have just got the game back underway, as there was a lengthy break there as Levi Kinchan for Vale of Leithen was receiving some treatment.
Yeah, he took a nasty head knock, but he's okay to continue. I think as we approach half-time here, Dougie Samuel will be very pleased with the way in which his team has played. They should, frankly, be further ahead. They've had ample opportunity. They've hit the woodwork twice, and Vale, after a bright start, have really kind of folded. And for me, it's a question now of how many Spartans go on to score and how clinical they can be and how much confidence that they can build as a result of this.
So yes, the clock is incorrect, but we do just have a couple of minutes of this first half left. As indeed we don't. We had seconds because the referee has just blown the whistle for the break. At the half, it is Spartans 3, Vale of Leithen 0. Cammy Dawson opened the scoring in the 11th minute with a lovely header from a Jamie Watson cross. Hit off the far post, went in just over the line. Then in the 24th minute, another cross, this time from the left side, as Mikey Allen lifted the ball in, and Dawson did well to lift his header over the goalkeeper, Ben McGinley, to double the advantage. It was then in the 41st minute that Adam Corbett managed to get onto a cross to the front post. We thought it was Cammy Dawson because we expected it to be, but no, indeed it was the captain with a brave header, getting the ball across the line, to make it Spartans 3, Vale of Leithen 0 at the break. And Charles, an impressive first half performance.
I think they'll be very pleased. They've done exactly what they set out to do, was get an early goal, establish control of the game, and they've played to Vale of Leithen's weaknesses. Vale have been so narrow, it's not true. And you can't play that narrow and expect not to get exploited. And for me, the best player was tipped onto the crossbar, and he produced a beautiful delivery for the second goal for Cammy Dawson. You cannot give a player who's got that pace and quality space, and they've had joy down the right hand side as well, Spartans, and they're playing to the game plan. I think Dougie Sam will be very pleased. He would just like a few more goals, I would think. And for Vale of Leithen, it's going to be about damage limitation now. What they change in the second half, I don't really know, but they look to be sluggish and off the pace, and it's not for nothing that they're bottom of the league, unfortunately.
Yes, we talked about it early on that the pace of Bradley Rickson looked as though it could have caused a threat this evening. However, Vale have just not been able to find an opportunity for him to use that. And indeed, what has resulted now is a very deep-sitting Vale of Leithen team, which has allowed Spartans loads of time on the ball, the opportunity to play probing passes. And that's what they've been able to do. Now, unfortunately, the feed did drop. There was another couple of opportunities. Mikey Allen had one himself, a brilliant save from Ben McGinley, who managed to turn it onto the crossbar when it looked as though Mikey Allen was going to get that third goal, although it wasn't long until Adam Corbett got that third, which has given Spartans that breathing room, and they have that comfortable lead against Vale of Leithen. For Vale in the second half, they're going to have to come out and do something early if they want to turn this game around.
I think they need to change their personnel or change their formation, because the formation's not working because they're too narrow, and the personnel aren't operating properly because there's no pressure on the midfield. Sometimes it's a case of just good players, and Spartans have got the better players here. But if you've got someone with the experience of the manager, Chris Anderson, he's got to look at this and think, right, where can we exploit Spartans? Where can we cause them problems? And the one weapon they've got is the man up front in Bradley Rickson, who's got pace. So find a way to unleash that. If they don't, then you might as well pack your bags.
Indeed, indeed. Right, we're going to go and have a quick cup of coffee. We'll be back for the second half. Hopefully now the stream is working for everybody. We apologise for that temporary loss in signal there. We think we've got that issue rectified now. It was a case of turn it off and turn it back on again. For anyone that's just joining us, as Tom Spencer's just come in, he's asking who's winning, as you can see on the scoreboard there. And as we go to the half-time, it's Spartans 3, So welcome back to Ainsley Park as the teams come back out onto the park for the second half. We're just readjusting ourselves here in the booth. Right. Well, certainly Spartans are back out, eager to get the second half underway. Vale of Leithen perhaps taking their time.
Maybe they've gone. Maybe they've realised that this is a battle they cannot win and just decided to head home early.
So for anyone that's just joining us or anyone that missed the first half, Cammy Dawson opened the scoring in the 11th minute with a looping header that went in off the far post. He then doubled the advantage on the 24th minute, a lovely cross from Mikey Allen on the left-hand side, and this time Dawson in the middle, unmarked, headered over Ben McGinley. Then it was the captain, Adam Corbett, who added the third goal in about the 41st minute. Unfortunately, the stream died at that point, so you missed out on that one. We have been recording the whole thing, though, so we'll be sure to get the highlights out. However, yeah, Corbett did really well, very brave at the front post to get his head on it and give Spartans that 3-0 lead. Now, Charles, first half, Vale, I'm not going to say Vale started well because I'm not sure there was enough there to say that, but they certainly felt like they were in the game, they were closing down. It looked like that Bradley Rickson's pace might cause some problems. However, as the game went on, Spartans really settled into this. And probably from the moment they went 1-0 up, it's been all Spartans since.
And that comes from confidence and lack of confidence, both ways. If you're Spartans, you get the opening goal, you settle into your play, and you start playing in your game and dictating the course of the match. Vale of Leithen, I thought, were bright. They were causing a few problems at the back with the pace of Rickson, and they looked like they had some kind of game plan to maybe release him and hitting the counter. And as soon as that first goal went in, I think the shoulders did slump, and we said at the time it was important that they didn't do that. What I will be interested to see is whether or not they come out all guns blazing here at the start of the second half. Have they changed anything game plan wise? Have they got any new personnel on the pitch? Are they going to make substitutions at half time? There we go.
Indeed, it is Spartans that make a substitution at half-time as Scott Maxwell leaves. He's going to be replaced for the second half by number 18, Aaron Murrell. So that's more striking force. Aaron Murrell being prolific during his time with Spartans, so another striking option up front to play alongside Cammy Dawson.
Well, more balls into the box perhaps, more opportunities that they think that they can be created. I think ultimately, if Vale want to get back into this, they've got to get their shape right. At the back, they've looked far too narrow, and as a result, there's been so much joy down either flank for Spartans. If Vale are going to win this game, or even get back into this game, it's highly unlikely they're going to win it. But if they want to even give themselves an opportunity to do so, they've got to have a solid shape at the back, and they've got to try and control the ball in midfield, because the midfield has been non-existent for the last 20 minutes.
If Vale are going to get back into this game, they're going to need more than the 4 players that they've currently got there at the moment. As we're looking down into the sort of changing area, I can't say.
Here comes somebody.
Players come now.
Oh, referee's not happy. Maybe they have chucked it, some of them.
Referee definitely encouraging the visitors to make their way onto the field.
There's no goalkeeper. There's not even the sight of a goalkeeper at the moment. So we might be getting called into action yet, Cammy.
I look good in red, so that's fine. Tryless.
You're getting a very strange look from the camera operator here, wondering whether you could play in goal, perhaps. They're not exactly rushing onto the pitch here, are they?
Well, we will get things back underway here momentarily. If you're watching the live stream, hopefully the issues that we had in the first half have completely gone away. We apologise for that. The software seemed to crash on us here. Not the internet signal, which is great, because that's what you worry about. But hopefully you're enjoying this. Hopefully you're still with us here on YouTube at Spartans FC Live. And hopefully you enjoy the second half. Looks like everyone's now in position. Doesn't appear to be any changes for the visitors at the break. And it will be Cammy Dawson that gets us back underway to kick off the second half. Spartans immediately with the ball, looking for an opportunity to play Aaron Murrell in there. However, just slightly too heavy there from Sam Jones. The ball makes its way all the way through to Ben McGinley in the Vale goal.
If that ball had been just a little bit more accurate, he had the freedom of the 18-yard line to have a pop at goal. There was so much space. The gap between the two central defenders there was vast.
There's a good play here, though, from Nicholas Weir, driving forward. Johnny Grotlin out on the side, trying to get an opportunity there. Can't quite create anything, though. Spartans able to get that one cleared away. Ball ends up going behind for a goal kick to Spartans. Great to see that we've got some Vale of Leithen fans as well. On the stream, we welcome you. Michael Roberts saying, come on, Vale of Leithen. Hope you enjoy the second half, Michael. Obviously, hope you don't enjoy it too much, but, you know. Certainly happy to welcome you here. Charles Petty, he says, good to be back. Got to be looking for a few more in the second half, sorry, from a Spartans point of view.
Absolutely. That's got to be the message from Dougie Samuel at half-time. Be more clinical. I mean, they hit the woodwork twice in that first half. You know, Cammy Dawson should have had a hat-trick. He'll be thinking that he could really rack up a few if there are more balls into the box that give him opportunities. And he's now got a strike partner as well.
It was Aaron Murrell as well, that new strike partner that's just come on that set to free Archie Meekison. He was tripped by Lewis Hall. Looked like nothing more than maybe just a coming together of legs, but definitely a free kick to Spartans there.
Free kick and a chance to get the ball into the area once again. A decent delivery. Some of the crosses tonight have been excellent. They really have. They've been whipped in with pace. That's what you want to see. That creates the problem for the defenders, and all it needs is a touch.
So Corbett, Bolachevecki and Dawson lingering around the edge of the penalty box here. But the ball's played low, looking for Murrell. He takes a touch. Cuts it back and it's lofted into the back post. However, it's well headed there by Jack Temple, who did well to get something on it, because Michael Bolachevecki was just waiting at the back post there. Spartans, though, still with an opportunity to attack, get the ball into the box. Failed do well, though, to get that ball clear. Only as far as about 35 yards out. Spartans able to build once again as McCrory Irvin tried to get the ball forward, however, ricochets off a Vale player and out for a throw-in.
That was good defending by the Vale player, because that was very dangerous. Again, an unmarked man at the back post. It's simple sometimes at this level of football. It really is. It's just about finding a bit of space for yourself, and if the defending isn't up to scratch, then the ball is going to often break to you, and happy days. At that time, that was a good awareness by the Vale defender at the back post.
There will be a throw-in to Spartans. Midway inside their own half. Taking their time here, looking for options as McCrory Irvin plays a lovely ball inside there to Jones. Spartans launch one forward, looking for Cammy Dawson. Not necessarily playing to his strengths there, looking for a ball in the channel, but still. Chris Anderson now, ball at his feet, rides a tackle, plays this out wide, driving forward. However, that ball just comes off the end of his toe and unfortunately goes out for a throw-in to Spartans.
He was running down a blind alley a little bit there. I think he realised that there was no support, and it's a bit like a rabbit in headlights, just heading down that into that funnel when there was nowhere to go.
Well, throw into Spartans now as they launch the ball forward, looking for Dawson, but the trialist, who we believe is Alex Imla, gets across and heads that one out.
I think that ball's gone. We're not seeing that one again. That's way over the trees and into the flats.
And as ever, you can see people watching this game from the lofty view from their flats opposite. A couple of people up there on the 4th floor enjoying the view. Hope they've been enjoying the game.
It's good that some people can watch, isn't it? Given the weird world we live in at the moment, at least there's a bit of opportunity to Don't
Grotland
watch
there.
on. There's quite a few people here as well, which is good to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Members of the committee, of course. A couple of comments from people saying that it looks like there's a lot of people here because of the booth that we're in today. This is blocking the view from the majority of the stand, so people displaced from their usual position on this side and kind of scattered around the pitch.
It's a very luxurious booth, though.
It's a very luxurious booth.
I could do with a couple of cushions. Perhaps for next time I'm invited along, there will be maybe a waiter service as well. But it's been very pleasant and nice and dry in here as well.
And Spartans can afford to be patient here now. They can just use this second half to stroke this ball around and, again, build their confidence.
Well, looking at the games that are coming up, they're probably going to be much more stern examinations than the one they've faced tonight. So it's about implementing good habits as much as anything else. If you've been on a run where the results haven't been going for you, it's there's a lot to be said for confidence, but it's about putting good habits in place. I mean, that's a slack pass there. That's something that Alan Brown, he'll want that one back. But I mean, by and large, he's been very good all night with his passing. But they'll want to put some good groundwork in that they can build on for the games to come. And what better opportunity than to play against a team that's low in confidence and struggling. And it's not just about getting goals, of course. It's about actually finding the fundamentals that are going to serve you well for the rest of the season.
From a goals point of view, of course, Cammy Dawson's missed out for the last 4 games. Returns tonight. He's a big player to have back, and I guess having missed those 4 games, good to see him back in scoring form, and that will please Dougie Samuel.
He's such a big target that it screams, throw the ball into the box, create havoc, and we've seen it in action tonight. It's interesting that since he's been joined by Aaron Morrell, he seems to be trying to link up with him and making a concerted effort to do so. And I don't know whether that's necessary. I think you just play the way you've been playing. Be the target man. Get up there and allow yourself to be targeted by long balls and by crosses from the flank. Let Morrell do the work around them. Don't go searching for the work, if you like.
Half an opportunity here for Vale of Leithen, as it was Chris Anderson who drew the foul there. Mikey Allen penalised there. It looked like the two of them just sort of ran into each other, but free kick awarded to Vale of Leithen. And an opportunity for them to get the ball into the box here.
Well, this is the chance for them to get back into the game. If they can somehow get a goal from this, then it's game on again. And it gives them a bit of belief. I think they've started the second half better than Spartans, actually. Spartans have been a bit slack first 5-10 minutes. And Vale have been bright enough. Let's see if they can take a chance, and let's see if we've got a game here.
So it's Lewis Hall that's over this. He leaves that, though, for Kinloch. And half opportunity there, but in the end it went high over the bar.
Better delivery, though.
Yep,
better
absolutely.
Delivery, and it found that it cleared the first man. And I think someone like Anderson, with his experience, will feel he could have done a bit better than that. There was a lot of pace on the ball, and it was in the right area. That was a good chance. And all it needed was the right angle on the header, and that could have been nestling in the bottom corner.
Certainly positive signs from Vale early in the second half, though. Just under 10 minutes played, and Spartans have been much more relaxed in their play, a little bit more casual, slack in some of the passing. That's going to give Vale opportunity to try and get back into this one.
I think it's easy, though, when you're 3-0 up to take your foot off the gas. I think that's a natural reaction. And we talk all the time, even at the highest level. I mean, it's interesting, looking ahead to the big Scotland game this week. I've been speaking to some of the Scotland players in the last couple of days, and they talk about seizing the moment. And that is the case at any level of football. And at the same time, momentum can very easily die away if you allow your foot to take off the gas. And I don't think that we're in a situation here where Spartans are going to be unduly threatened, but it's not a good habit to get into. They should be going out there and trying to, be clinical. We saw in the top flight in Scotland at the weekend, we saw Rangers were 4-0 up at the break. They went and scored another 4. Why can't Spartans come out here with an emphasis on really kind of hammering it home to the opposition. Here's a chance.
It was lovely link-up play there between Murrell and Jones. However, that final ball, Jones and Dawson not quite on the same wavelength there. We're obviously talking about there an opportunity for Spartans to continue to pile on put in goals, but for Vale, at 3-0 down, there's a lot to try and take anything out of this game. But for their own point of view, a solid second half performance might actually be a real confidence booster, and something that they can at least take from, if maybe no points, they could take a positive second half performance forward into the rest of the season.
Well, there's more at stake for them, really, in principle here. They're the ones that are bottom of the table. They're in danger of relegation. Spartans sitting in mid-table, perhaps. One could argue that the promotion is going to be beyond them, and they're not in threat of relegation. So it comes down to what is your emphasis here? What are you trying to achieve? Vale have got a fight on their hands. They have to find some kind of building block, and they've got to create something that's going to give them positivity going forward. But I don't think you can give up the game here. I think one goal changes things. I think they're just about still in this tie, and that was a chance a few minutes ago from the set piece.
So substitution there by Vale, although it looked like they were looking to bring on a second player.
Trialist on,
So
I think, in
not
the midfield here.
Quite sure what was happening there. But yeah, number 21, who is a trialist, has come on for Vale. It's player number 14 is currently changing his shirt. So obviously some confusion there. The players going off are Ryan Higgins, number 8. And manager Chris Anderson has indeed subbed himself off. I'm not quite sure how you read into that.
Cammy Dawson's off as well for Spartans. So no hat-trick for him.
So it's Aaron Laidlaw that's coming on for Vale of Leithen, and Joe Tate has come on to replace Cammy Dawson as well, as Dougie Samuel makes the change. That's a very different looking forward line now. Tate, Meekison and Murrell. Meekison and Tate, very quick, fast-paced players. Murrell, of course, a prolific striker. Not necessarily found the same level of form on his second spell here at Spartans, but we know he's certainly capable.
You wonder whether the game plan has changed here. The target man has gone off. Cammy Dawson's had a great game, but he's not really got into the game since half-time. And perhaps it's just a shift in emphasis from Dougie Samuel. Maybe he'll want to see a little bit more interplay through the middle of the park. I don't know whether we'll maybe see quite as many crosses into the box. The full-backs were bombing on in the first half. They don't need to do that now. They can sit in. So let's see if Spartans can play a different kind of football in the middle of the park.
Certainly appears to be setting up in a 4-3-3 formation. Tate playing out wide on the left, Meekison on the right with Murrell through the middle. Dougie Samuel taking the opportunity to try out different things this evening. As Murrell tried to take a deft touch there, however, it didn't quite work out for him. It goes out for a throw-in to Vale of Leithen. Charles Petty's completely agreeing with you here, Charles, as well. He's keen to see Spartans continue to push on here.
Got to be ruthless. The best teams are ruthless. That looks like a nasty foul there.
It's a nasty knock there. The referee immediately blew his whistle there. Treatment required here. Trying to see who the player down is. I think it's either Mikey Allen or Adam Corbett. Certainly looked like a nasty one as he was receiving treatment there. But Charles, even for the players coming on there, for Aaron Murrell, who obviously dropped to the bench this evening, for Joe Tate, who's come in, this is an opportunity for these guys as well to secure their place in Dougie Samuel's starting 11.
Got to take your chances. Absolutely. Make the most of every opportunity you get. But you don't know how things are going to pan out with players' availability, and I mean, the fixture schedule is obviously a tough one for everybody concerned at the moment, given the state of the world. But this is a freebie now. If you look at it, as long as they're sensible, it should be a freebie. I think they've been slack since the break. That's another pass that has not necessarily gone where they wanted it to go. If someone comes on and makes an impression, they force themselves into the starting lineup for next week.
And of course it is Bonnie Rigrosa up here next, and it is Tate who manages to slip through there. It's an offside decision. I tell you what, I thought for a second there the referee was going to point to the penalty spot. Tate used his pace to burst through there. It looked like he was brought down by Jack Temple at the back, but the offside flag went up, and it will be a free kick to Vale of Leithen.
It was a nice little ball through from Mikkelsen there, and the pace there of Tate causing all sorts of problems for the Vale of Leithen back line. This is not something they've had to deal with this evening, so it's a different threat.
It's a lovely ball there by Ricardo Irvin to Mikkelsen. He tried to cut it inside looking for Murrell. However, it's well intercepted by Vale. Look to get that ball forward. And there was a brief opportunity there for Bradley Rickson to maybe get on to the end of that. Didn't quite bounce for him right, and Spartans able to clear in the end.
Mikkelsen's movement's very good. He's just dropping off that back four. I think they are playing now a 4-3-3, but he is just drifting into the hole, and that's going to cause a lot of problems for the Vale of Leithen back line. They didn't have to deal with that in the first half. He was bright in the first half, but most of the promising attacks came down the flanks with the two fullbacks. Now he will probably get a chance to show more what he can do creatively, I think.
Lofty ball over the top there, looking for Rickson, and the substitute Laidlaw. A comment on here from the Angus family saying that Neve is on. Neve was number 14, but we saw the substitute wearing the number 14 shirt changing to number 15. I wonder if there's been a mix-up on the team sheets here, so we'll try and figure out who number 15 is.
I wouldn't doubt the listeners.
No, I'm not going to doubt
the viewers.
The
They know what they're talking about. We do have a restricted view as well, so that's our excuse. I'm sticking my head out the window here.
Charles using his height advantage over me here to get better leverage and see what's going on out there, as there's a worse restricted view than you get at Celtic Park. Watson there with a great cross to the back posts and brilliantly headed home by Joe Tate. That was a lovely cross by Watson. Tate at the back post he's not got much height. He somehow managed to get on the end of that. Easy as it comes, just rises ever so slightly and heads it into the far corner.
Smallest man on the pitch makes it 4-0. Got to question the Vale of Leithen defending there. I was pointing, there was a huge overlap here on the right hand side, and Watson's cross was delicious to the back post, but you've got to question the defending. I mean, there's no way that they should be allowing that to occur. They really shouldn't, and I think that is game over now.
I actually couldn't see Tate at the back post because of the restricted view that I was just talking about there, and then suddenly he just appears.
He was also blocked. He was blocked by a defender as well, because he's obviously not. He's not quite the same height as Cammy Dawson, but listen, he's got on the goal on the score sheet, and that's 4 headers tonight. 4. So I think if you're Vale of Leithen, you know what you've got to work on, which is your response to aerial threat. But
you say aerial threat.
Well, I mean, he can't be more than 5'6". So very interesting to know when the last time he scored a header.
Yeah, we'll have to ask him that after the game. If anybody that's watching on the feed knows the last time that Joe Tate scored a headed goal, please do let us know. Lovely flick on there by McCrory Irvin, however. Murrell couldn't quite read the flight of the ball there, and it gets just beyond him. Alan Brown does well in the centre of midfield. Jones, long ball looking for Tate. He's using his pace. Lovely controlled touch onto his chest. Manages to turn, takes onto his right foot, and he strikes it off the post. The keeper was beat. Tate with another opportunity though. Lays that one back and it's blasted into the side netting this time. Wow. Great opportunity for Tate, who's looked a right handful since he's come on.
It was an absolutely delicious touch to take the ball down. The cross-field ball from Jamie Watson was exquisite, but the first touch was magnificent. The control just took the defender out of the game, and he spins him And I think he's very unlucky with the shot. It hits, hits the upright and comes out. He can't do much more. Perhaps you could argue, he could have gone across the keeper, but it was a terrific effort.
So there's going to be another 2 substitutions made here by Vale of Leithen, as Graham Campbell has come on to replace Nicholas Weir. And the player sauntering off at the moment is Levi Kinchant. And as soon as the player on the far side turns round, we will tell you who's coming on in his place. An interesting one, that, because actually Kinchant's been taking a lot of the set pieces, and the last one that he had for the Vale certainly looked an awful lot better, but perhaps tired legs out there. And
he took a whack just before half-time as well. Took a big knock to the head, so interesting to see if these new players for Vale of Leithen can make any impact on the game here.
So indeed, that's 14, and that is Robbie Neve that's just come on. So Neve now on. It was Laidlaw at 15. There was a mix-up with the shirt. So we've got it right on the team sheet. 14 is Robbie Neve. 15 is Aaron Laidlaw. Opportunity for Scott McCrory Irvin, who does really well to get onto that low strike. But Ben McGinley did well to get down quickly and save that one.
Came to him on the half volley, struck it well. Good save by the goalkeeper. It swerved as well, just in front of him.
So McGinley's obviously not done necessarily brilliantly with headed goals, but there's been a couple of really great reaction saves from him as well.
Good. He looks like a good shot stopper, but I mean he's not been helped by his defence tonight. You've got to, as a goalkeeper, the best goalkeepers are able to command their defence and communicate with the defence, and it doesn't look like there's much of a relationship there. And truth be told, they don't look confident in either party. The defenders don't look confident in the keeper, and the goalkeeper doesn't look like he's happy with the way in which the players in front of him are marshalling each other, and that is a bad combination, let's be frank.
So just over 20 minutes left of time here at Ainsley Park. Spartans with the 4-0 lead. A double in the first half from Cammy Dawson. Adam Corbett just before the break, and then a Joe Tate header in the 62nd minute.
That was a chance to get a more dangerous ball into the Spartans box, and it's just overhit. I don't think Harry Stones had a save to make tonight. And fair play for him and for the Spartans defence, but you'll be disappointed in that if you're Vale of Leithen. They've only scored 5 goals all season, and it looks like it. They're toothless.
Well, Harry Stone's yet to have a clean sheet since signing for Spartans from Hearts, so he'll be hoping to hang on to that this evening. So that's a lovely little bit of play there by Mikey Allen, who's got the opportunity to play this forward. Plays it to Tate, who takes the touch on his right foot, just slightly too heavy, and allowed Vale the opportunity to break that one up. As it was Imla, the trialist, who managed to get something on that, and then Hall cleared it. And there will be another substitution for Spartans here.
I think it's about giving everyone an opportunity now, if you can.
In fact, I think there's 3 substitutions coming for Spartans here. So, a bunch of players on and a bunch of players off. As it looks like Adam Corbett leaves, Alan Brown leaves, and Sam Jones leaves. In come Gregor Woods, Keir Russell, and Jordan Caddo. Phew!
Commentator's nightmare. 3 substitutions at once.
So, the Angus family, who clearly watching Vale of Leithen fans, pointing out that substitute number 15, Aaron Laidlaw, has scored 3 of the goals. So, surprised me that he started on the bench this evening.
Well, there'll be reasons for it. It's if he can offer some kind of attacking threat, then that will certainly please them. But I think this game is beyond them now. At 4-0, the chance was there. At that set piece at just after half time, there was an opportunity for the player manager Anderson, and he didn't take it. And I think the game is gone for them now. Spartans have not been as fluent in this half as they were in the first half, but I think they've certainly changed their game plan a bit.
Bolchevecki winning another ball in the air there. Again, using his vast years of experience at the back. Speaking of experience, Jordan Caddo, another man who's been around the league a lot. come on to replace. It's good break-up play there from Gregor Woods. Unfortunately, that didn't quite work out for Mikason, and Vale able to win that ball back. Trialist here 21 with a great ball there that's set. Johnny Grotlin in there. Chance for Vale to get something on this, and Lewis Hall beats Harry Stone in the goal, but the ball ricochets off the bar, down and out. No goal given. A real opportunity for Vale there.
The man who came in there running beyond, that's what causes the problem there. It was a dodgy bit of defending, I think it has to be said, by Spartans, and they're very, very fortunate that clean sheet is still intact. It deserved a goal, the move, but that is the first time that they've had bodies in the box, and it's the first time that they've actually really had a shot at goal that has even had Harry Stone concerned.
Yeah.
So why we've only seen this now, I don't quite know.
Spartans now with McCrory Irvin driving forward there. Switched over to that left-hand side. Not able to turn that into anything. Yeah, it was the first real pass of intent, I think, from Vale this evening. It was a lovely ball that set Johnny Grotlin free. He was able to lay that back to Lewis Hall, and it was a fine strike.
He turned very well, Grotlin. He turned very well and was able to lay it. It's good to see that someone was coming in on the follow-up, because that's what they've lacked. They've lacked a presence anywhere near the Spartans box all night.
Spartans now playing some neat passes here as there's an opportunity here. However, Joe Tate, in the end, not quite the ball that he was looking for, and he played that one high over, and it goes out for a goal kick.
He looks very good, Joe Tate, technically. He looks like a player that's got confidence. We mentioned that terrific effort that an opportunity that he carved out for himself 5 or 10 minutes ago. And, you know, on a pitch like this, if you've got players that are able to be technically gifted and outwit opponents at this level, then that's like an extra spark you've got, you know.
Long ball played forward here by Vale. Easily dealt with by Mikey Allen. Couple of shouts there for a free kick from the Spartans players, but I'm not sure there was an awful lot in that one. Ball ricochets around in midfield, much to the benefit of Spartans, who are able to clear it. And it is Tate out on that far side. Plays a ball in looking for Mikason, however. Imla did well to come over and block that one. Vale able to get it clear. Mikason now plays that ball looking for Tate. Takes onto his left foot, plays across into the front post, just beyond Murrow. It's well cleared there by the Vale of Leithen defender, Michael Robertson. Just manages to whip that ball clear.
I think Murrow could have been a bit sharper there. He's not really got into the game since he came on. Didn't take the gamble.
There's a Spartans corner here. It's played low. It ricochets around inside the box. It falls to Tate, who strikes it. But the referee is given a free kick for something there.
That, I think, was handball. Bolozrecki, I don't think he could get out of the way of it. He was unmarked on the 6-yard line, but the ball, I don't think he anticipated it coming through to him in that regard, and it appears to have hit him on the arm. It's difficult to see from our angle, but that's why I think the referee's given that.
Bit of a shame there, because that was a fine finish from Tate as well.
Indeed. Not just proficient in the air.
So that's another substitution for Vale, and that completes theirs. Player going off was number 3, Michael Robertson, and he's replaced by Stan Swain. So that's 5 subs apiece, 10 in total. A good friend of ours, Paul Mitchell, will be raging at that. If you know the BBC commentator, he's been bemoaning the fact that we've still got 5 substitutes in football.
He should try an argument with Jurgen Klopp. He is certainly not happy that they don't have 5 substitutes at the moment in the Premier League. Now it's Pep Guardiola, and I would think that they're probably better authorities on it than Mr. Mitchell.
I think think certainly at this level as well, some of these players are obviously massively disrupted compared to their usual training regimes and things like that. Fitness levels perhaps not quite what they were. The 5 substitutes certainly gives the opportunity to get more people involved, and will probably be needed as the season goes on, as inevitably players will fall to COVID and have to isolate, have to take time out, and that is disruptive. If you've got to take a couple of weeks out unexpectedly and you can't train because you're self-isolating, then that's going to have an impact on your fitness. So the 5 substitution rule certainly gives them the opportunity at this level to try and work back up to that.
The argument against it is that it allows the bigger clubs with the bigger squads to have an advantage.
Oof. Oh, there was a strike there from distance. However, just past the post.
That was a good effort there. A really clean strike of the ball.
Substitute Gregor Woods it was with that. We know he's capable of scoring from that range.
No, I do think that at this level it is necessary to have as many options as possible, because a lot of the teams, they are, apart from maybe 1 or 2 that have spent a bit of money, they are a much of a muchness, a lot of these teams, and I think it's fair. It's only fair. The danger, I think, at this moment in time, given the situation, is injuries.
Yes.
For players, and you've got to protect players, and the last thing you want is, notwithstanding COVID and the issues around that, you don't want to suddenly have a bunch of injuries because players are not 100%, especially when you're coming into the winter months and there's cup games and things like that. So it makes sense, and it makes sense for the managers to utilise them, to be honest, although there are a lot of managers who aren't utilising them, even though the option is there.
Well, this is it. Just because you've got 5 substitutes doesn't mean that it's always right to use them. In a game like this, though, where there's the opportunity to get some much-needed game time for people, perhaps this is the perfect example of where that 5 substitution rule does work. Certainly for Vale, there's been a couple of people calling for Neve and Laidlaw to get onto the park, so they're both on now. And for Vale, there's been an opportunity to get a couple of trialists out there as well, as they're obviously looking to grow their numbers as they try and turn around what has been a disastrous start for them this season.
They're going to have a lot of work to do. It's a real uphill struggle for them, you would imagine. And on this performance tonight against a Spartans team that came into the match low with confidence, you wonder whether Vale...
Oh, it's a lovely ball for Woods here. Oh, and somehow manages to flash that wide to the far post. It was a lovely lofted ball from Tate there. Really nice setup play. It fell perfectly to Gregor Woods. It looked like he had nothing to do but stick the ball in the back of the net and somehow dragged it wide.
It was beautifully inventive from Tate. We talked earlier about his technical ability. That was another example of it there. I think Woods is waiting for the ball to come down, and the goalkeeper's coming out perhaps just puts him off. I mean, he struck it very well, but it's I don't think he could have done much more than that. I think perhaps maybe the goalkeeper was in his vision, and that maybe just put him off. There's another good bit of control almost by Tate.
It was a lovely ball from Jamie Watson, found Tate. He did take a nice control. However, it was well played by the Vale defender to get across and break that one up. Vale now with the ball at their feet, still looking to try and do something with this. They would love to get a goal, and for their own self-confidence, as we talked about, it would be good for them to find that. Might give them a lift going into the weekend. However, Bradley Rickson, they are trying to use his pace, however, went far too early and is offside.
Talking about Vale's struggles, they do, as we said in the first half, have an option up front in Bradley Rickson, who's got a bit of pace. So how going forward do they best utilise that to score goals and create? You do wonder how they're actually going to pick up any points. They're pointless so far after 7 games. It's going to be 8 in a row now with nothing to show for it, and that can really get you down, I think, as a team. But they've got to find a way not just to create, but they've got to keep the back door shut. They can't keep shelling goals like this. I mean, some of the defending tonight has been really poor.
That was a lovely ball there, looking for Scott McCrory-Irvine, however, he couldn't quite get onto the end of that. For Vale, they've got Cumbernauld Colts coming up. Cumbernauld will have to travel to Inner Leithen. Cumbernauld themselves have had a bit of an indifferent start to the season. 1 win, 1 draw, 4 defeats. So an opportunity there for Vale to come up against a team who've only got 4 points themselves. That's exactly the sort of game that they need to be winning if they're going to turn around their season.
Cumbernauld have only scored 7 goals themselves, so I mean the problem with Vale is that 4 tonight and 31 in the previous 7 games that they've conceded at the back. If they don't tighten up at the back, you can't go out and expect to win a game 5-4, even with someone as pacey up front as Rickson and someone as experienced as Anderson. If they kind of keep the back door shut, then Cumbernauld could quite happily go and do to them what Spartans have done tonight, and perhaps worse. There'll be teams out there who will relish facing Vale of Leithen if they defend like this for the rest of the season.
Yes, absolutely. If you're just joining us, or if you've only tuned in recently, it's 4-0 Spartans. 2 headed goals from Cammy Dawson in the first half, a headed goal from Adam Corbett just before the break, and the rarest of rare things, a headed goal from Joe Tate in the 63rd minute. I have given Spartans the 4-0 advantage. Spartans had the ball in the back of the net again from Joe Tate, however, it was ruled out for a handball momentarily before it, as it hit the hand of Bolocevicki. As I get excited here, as Joe Tate does brilliantly to turn inside the box there. The hands went up for a goal kick, which has been given. I wasn't sure about that one. I thought that was quite close.
It looked close. It's difficult to see from our angle. We'll trust the linesman. I'm looking out the window, and he was right in the right position. So you've got to assume that he could see it. It maybe looked like it was marginally over. There's no VAR here, obviously, so we wouldn't be able to tell via any kind of replay. But it was brilliant technical control again from Tate. The cute wee flick, which the defender didn't know which way he'd gone.
Clear push there by Rickson on Caddo has given Spartans a free kick there. Rickson clearly frustrated, but I think all in all a frustrating evening for him and his teammates this evening.
I'm curious to see whether this performance by Tate will force him into the starting lineup for the next game, because he's been outstanding since he came on. Not just the fact he's got the goal, but he has created a chance which hit the post from Woods, and he has shown that he's got the skill to beat anybody really on the pitch. And how does that fit into the bigger picture and the bigger game plan?
Well, it's Bonnyrigg Rose that are up next here at Ainsley Park. Another tough time for Spartans. They've certainly faced a lot of the tough teams early in the season this year. Oh, it's a slip there by Bolocevicki. Almost allowed Vale of Leithen an opportunity to attack, but it's Caddo at the back who's patient with his play, and Spartans able to get away with that one. Bonnyrigg Rose, of course, very much one of the favourites for the Lowland League this year. They will be a tough test. That's a lovely ball from Mikasin, who finds Murrell. We'll not say much about that finish, though, which almost left the arena. I will call this arena. The academy.
The only thing to say of that is 3 points, I think. That's sailed
been
high over the crossbar. That was he went for power rather than accuracy, I think it's fair to say.
If there'd been a camera on top of that camera stand at the back of the goal, it might have been in pieces. Jamie Watson driving forward now, links up well with Mikasin, who touches it back. Tate's got an absolute acre of space. That's a lovely ball, though, from Watson. Tate driving forward, plays it back to Mikasin, who lifts the ball over the post. Offside? Not quite sure.
Seems to have the flag up. Yeah, it was. I think he's flagging for offside on Tate,
To the pass for Tate.
on Joe Tate. Yeah, and to be fair, Tate should be seeing that. He should be looking along the line and seeing whether or not he can stay on side. It was a great move, and to be fair, it's probably it's one that Mikasin will be delighted that was called, because he really should have hit the target.
Absolutely.
They're still creating chances. I mean, they could be 6 or 7 up here Spartans. They've had plenty of opportunities. They were a bit sluggish at the start of this second half, but they've kicked on a bit. I think there appears to be a bit of superior fitness here as well.
Yeah, certainly showing as Vale, in spite of the 5 substitutions, certainly it's been lacklustre throughout the game, but really feels quite lacklustre now. Whereas Spartans have brought on players like Tate who've used their pace and caused nothing but problems for the Vale defence. And Spartans have another opportunity to play this one into the box. it was Tate once again who was trying to get into that one, couldn't quite get on it. Woods cuts that ball across, and it's tapped into the net by Aaron Murrell. A partial celebration there from Spartans. I was almost looking to see if the assistant referee had raised his flag. The flag stays down. Murrell taps it into the net. Woods with a lovely low cross. As easy as it comes. It's Spartans 5, Vale of Leithen 0.
Far too easy. I think Vale have chucked it, unfortunately. There was a man down, which was unfortunate, who was tangled up with Tate at the near post when the initial cross came in. But you've got to watch the second ball, and they fell asleep. And I mean, listen, Cameron, you or I could have knocked that one in. Let's be honest, even with our limited ability. That was the easiest goal he'll have all season.
Good for Aaron Murrell and for his confidence to get onto the score sheet there as well. Murrell, who came on at the break, not necessarily had a massive impact on this game, but he'll be pleased to get on the score sheet.
Not long to go now. Maybe it would be nice for Spartans, certainly from their own point of view, to get one or two more. There's not long left, but Vale really need to just see this one out and without any more damage, because the worse that goal difference gets, long term, that could be extremely problematic for them.
And certainly we talked about how, a solid second half performance would have been a real benefit for Vale of Leithen's confidence. Unfortunately, that hasn't transpired. You can see that they've definitely, from a fitness point of view, fallen right off a cliff as this game's gone on. And it's been really simple for Spartans this evening.
Last 10 minutes can make or break it, at this level. And if you can't keep up the pace, you can just crumble. And I don't think they're going to crumble, but they don't. They look flat, and I think they look very, very much like they just want the final whistle to blow now.
So 3 minutes of normal time before we hit injury time here. I'm not sure we'll see an awful lot of that. It's not. We talked about this off air, Charles, before the game got underway. But often these games can be quite feisty and testy. But that hasn't been the case this evening. There's not really been much of note when it comes to sort of any kind of incident.
I think really, in part, that's due to the fact it's not really been a contest. If it had gone perhaps maybe 20, 30 minutes before we saw the first goal, maybe so.
Mickelson bursting away there, gets a ball into the box. He's taken out cynically as he makes his way to the byline. He managed to get the ball across, and Aaron Murrell made an absolute mess of that. However, the referee points to the spot, and it will be a penalty kick to Spartans.
Murrell will get another opportunity. Yeah, he really should have knocked the ball into the empty net. But it looks like he'll be stepping up to take the penalty. Chance to make it 6. Add a bit of gloss to the scoreline.
So we said he came on at half-time. He's not had a massive impact in the second half, though he did just tap in the 5th goal, and now he's got an opportunity to get 2nd and add a 6th for Spartans here. Ben McGinley, though, has shown he's quite capable of making a great reflex save, though. He'll be hoping that he can stop Murrell and try and keep it a little bit more respectable. But Murrell does really well and rifles that low into the right-hand side of the net. It's a brilliant finish. It was a definite stonewall penalty. Murrell gets his 2nd of the evening. He gets Spartans 6th. It's Spartans 6, Vale of Leithen 0.
Good for Murrell to get another goal. He's certainly going to take confidence from that. Gloss on the scoreline, 6-0. I think it's fully deserved. It could have been more tonight. Dougie Samuel will be very pleased. And it's going to be a clean sheet, it looks like, as well, which I think he'll be equally happy with. They've barely allowed Vale of Leithen a sniff.
And it was great play by Archie Mickelson there as well. Really determined, fast pace, held off the defender and drew that foul in the box. And actually, Spartans driving forward as Mikey Allen has a chance to get a ball into the box here. Murrell was coming in there but couldn't quite make up the ground he needed to get onto the end of that. A tasty cross from Allen. That was inviting someone to get onto the end of that.
We saw a couple of them in the first half. He's not really got forward at all in this second half. He and Jamie Watson have both kind of sat in as natural fullbacks, if you like. You don't usually see fullbacks doing that anymore. Quite often, the way that they played in the first half is what you see from players at the fullback position nowadays. But that was a terrific ball. That's a slack ball, though.
Very slack ball there by Jamie Watson. But as the referee blows the full-time whistle there, an impressive performance from Spartans this evening. They didn't really need to get out of second gear. Cammy Dawson opened the scoring in the 11th minute. and then added a second in the 24th. Both of them headers, one of them off the far post, the second one an easy one over the goalkeeper. Adam Corbett did really well in the 41st minute to get his head onto a cross at the front post, a very brave header, before Joe Tate came on as a substitute in the second half, and the smallest man on the park managed to add a fourth, also with his head. Aaron Murrell, who came on at half-time, managed to add a fifth goal for Spartans in about the 86th minute, and then in the 88th minute, just 2 minutes later, he added a second, this time from a penalty spot, as Archie Meekison was brought down inside the box as he was making his way to the byline. It's finished here, Spartans 6, Vale of Leithen 0. An impressive performance, a very much deserved win, and Dougie Samuel will be really pleased to get back to winning ways.
Yeah, he will. They've obviously had a tough time in recent weeks, but the strikers got the goals. There was good interplay in the second half with the substitutes coming on. The first half, I was really impressed. That the way that the game plan appeared to be set out was attack Vale of Leithen down the flanks, get the crosses into the box, feed Cammy Dawson. He should have had a hat trick. They hit the woodwork twice in that first half, as well as scoring 3 goals. And then in the second half, they proved that they could play a bit differently, and it's a good night's work.
So I'm going to have to ask you now, put you on the spot for a man of the match this evening, Charles. There's a lot of good performances.
There have been a lot of good performances. I thought that young Joe Tate, who came on at half-time, he was terrific. He was really, really good. He showed, not just the fact he got the goal, but showed a lot of technical skill and creativity. But for me, the man and he was bombing right up and down there at the final, just before the final whistled with that great cross. For me, it was Mikey Allen. He laid on a goal. He should have had a goal, which hit the bar, and he never stopped all night. Obviously, the game plan changed a little bit in the second half, and he didn't need to get forward because they were comfortable. But he proved he could. He looks like a really, really top left back at this level, a top full back. He'll serve them very, very well if he continues to play like that for the course of the season. He was certainly the one who impressed me the most tonight.
Yes, an impressive performance from him, an impressive performance from all of the Spartans players this evening. That victory lifts Spartans up in the division, as it looks like Caledonian Braves may have lost against Gretna. They were certainly losing 1-0 at half-time. Interesting as well to see that this single performance from Spartans has wiped out the 6-goal negative goal difference that they had coming into this. Obviously, that's now 9 points from 7 games. They've faced some very tough ties. They've had some unfortunate results against Stirling Uni and Galfairy. They faced a tough tie, though, this weekend as Bonnyrigg Rose, currently sitting in 7th place in the league, come to town. Bonnyrigg have only conceded 4 goals this season and have scored 12 in 7 games. So a much tougher test against a team that is tipped to be one of the favourites for the division this year.
Well, that'll be the acid test of what they've learnt tonight in terms of how they kick on from this, and the good things that we saw this evening, the good play down the flanks and then the interplay in midfield in the second half. Can they put that into practice against better opposition? And if they can, then it shows that this has all been worthwhile. I mean, the goal difference perhaps at the end of the day is not going to matter too much because the gap might now be too big between the top teams and Spartans. But if you can show that you're making progress, it's easy to come in and wipe the floor with a team that's bottom of the league. But you've got to show it then the following week. You've got to back it up. And that, I'm sure, is what Dougie Samuel's been telling his guys tonight.
Absolutely. So thank you for joining us here on Spartans FC Live for this Lowland League tie between Spartans and Vale of Leithen. Thank you to Charles for joining me this evening in the special posh booth that we've got here. We're going to be putting in our petition so that we can try and keep this. I'm not sure that we'll get away with that, but hey, you get nothing if you don't try. We don't charge for this. We'll continue to make this footage completely free all season long. If you do want to make a donation, you can do so. There's the Donate a Ticket scheme, which is fully available. If you want to find out information on how you can donate some money to the club, obviously we don't have fans coming through the turnstile. There isn't that level of income. We do want to make this content free, but if you do want to donate, we would definitely appreciate it. Check out the Spartans Twitter, check out the Spartans website, check out the Spartans Facebook, check out everything and see if you can get that link. Anything that you can afford, anything that you can donate would be very much appreciated. But for now, we move on, we look ahead. Next up, it is Bonnyrigg Rose on Saturday. We hope you can join us then. And until Saturday, enjoy any other football you're watching, and come on, Scotland!